Hi everyone, this is Doug Kerr, EDL 850 VB School Law class, and tonight we're looking at internet use violations, the threats all over the World Wide Web. The case we're looking at today is the Roosevelt High School student incident case, and we're going to be focusing on the ISL CC standards number 5. What do we know about the case? Well, we know that Roosevelt High School is a very influenced school in a big city. We don't have a city in particular, but we know it's in a big city. The principal, Dr. Forbes, is a highly respected and recognized administrator that is the leader of an extremely proficient school with high level of achievement within the faculty and the staff. One staff member or faculty member in particular, Mrs. Walker, is well educated and has been through all of her schooling and is just now in her second year of education, and is also the second year at the school at Roosevelt High School for Miss Walker. What else we know? An incident has taken place involving Miss Walker and a person or persons related to her job as a teacher at the high school via the internet. Now, we don't know if it's students yet. Miss Walker has made thoughts that she thought she might know who it is, but we still don't know. It could be a parent, it could be a student not even related to her class. So we do have to do some further investigation. We also know that Miss Walker is teaching some of the higher level classes at the school with a group of students that tend to achieve at a higher level than other students at RHS. And we do know that Miss Walker has some interesting styles to her teaching that have ruffled some feathers of both parents and students in the past. And there is some disgruntlement about how Miss Walker does her job. But overall, we can assume, based that she got hired back as a second-year teacher, that she's doing a good enough job to keep her job at the school. What do we need to know before we can get moving forward? We need to know the creator of the web page, and are they even students at the high school? This case could go in a whole different direction if this were the parents of a student or the brother of a student, than if it's just students. We're assuming the case is dealing with the students. And so that's what we're going to run with, is that it is the students, but we do have to look that may not be in every case. Secondly, is the site created as a prank, or is there a viable threat to Miss Walker? Even though it is a prank, it might be just a prank from the students, we're a threat with our zero tolerance policy that we're going to institute to make sure the students know that this is just not acceptable behavior, and it's not an acceptable decorum of education at our high achieving school. We also need to know if the site was created on school equipment. Boy, that could open a whole new can of worms in violations within the school, and kind of knock down some of the freedoms and some of the privacy issues that these students may have as they created it. We also need to know what is the district policy in regards to the situation that has taken place. More than likely, this is the first time this has happened, because the principal is going over and explaining that they're going to get to the bottom of it. He doesn't really have a plan that they say in place, so we have to know what's the protocol. And along with that, what is the first step in handling the situation based on the district policy in connection to this case? So here at Iola call it the district technology use policy, but where are we at? Because obviously we haven't had this happen before, so we're trying to figure out in the future. We're going to identify the problems. Which and how many students are involved? Is it one student, a rogue student that wanted to prove his worth to the class, or is there a group of students? What is the punishment established to the district issues like this? What can we expect to punish, and how can we expect to punish these kids so this doesn't continue to happen in the future? What is the ability of Miss Walker moving forward in her efforts to be an effective teacher to the rest of her students not involved? Remember, the key here is time on task and student involvement in the classroom and high achievement. So the students that don't have anything to do with this, they're going to be affected with Miss Walker's absence. And that is the most important thing, is keeping the school day going and keeping the learning going with the students. Our plan of action, first thing we're going to do is, as the principal, we're going to contact our district officials, either the superintendent or the school board, whatever our protocol is for this situation. I know it's different in big school districts as opposed to Small school districts, so we're assuming this is a big school district in a big city. They may have an assistant superintendent or area superintendent to go to, but there will be a chain of command to how to handle the situation. I think I can stress things we're going to do, but this will probably be done by the upper administration. But we will connect with legal representatives connected with the district, maybe the school lawyer or the firm that handles those legal issues regarding the case, so that we make sure that we are doing everything legal on our part and not infringing on any rights of any of the students. And then we're going to also copy all the pages of the website and the email, probably before the student has a chance to change their mind and go, oh gosh, I think I'm going to get in trouble here. And so they try to delete it off there, and we can find it and copy it, so we do have hard evidence to show the right authorities. We need to connect with district level technology department to get ideas on identifying who created the site. Maybe the technology supervisor of the district has a way of finding the IP address or finding the computer, especially if it was on campus. It'd be real easy. But finding a way of where it was found, where it was located, and who actually did it, so we can get that expedited as quickly as possible. And we also need to get a substitute for Miss Walker, I think, so that we can diffuse the situation at school and provide her with a safe environment to work in. We don't want her going back, because the students, they're going to know what's going on long before any of the people at the school do. I'm sure the person that created this site didn't just keep it to themselves, all over social media, and so we need to get her out of that classroom until we can get some kind of confirmation of where we're going in our investigation, and not put her in a bad situation or a compromising situation with possibly the student involved in the classroom, keeping her safe basically. The appropriate strategies we're going to take is, once it's discovered who it is that created it, and we're going to go with the students, we're going to go with those students along with their families, so that there's no he said, she said, or misappropriation of authority. And we're going to get down and sit down with them and explain the severity of the case and find possible solutions with the district and the families. We're going to make contact with local authorities, because if criminal intent is discovered, if the threat is real, we do have a death threat, and there could be some legal actions involved in that with the authorities. So we have to keep them involved and keep them up to date with what's going on. I know that they have a task force that helps them involved with this, so we got to keep them up to date. And we need to work to minimize the event within the student body. We don't want this to blow up into a major ordeal on campus. It's going to be tough dealing with that with social media, but we need to minimize the event, get back to normal routine with the students to try to make this not into a big deal that could ruin the rest of the school year. What's the best outcome? Well, the best outcome for students is to be efficient and transparent with all the parties involved, so there are no loopholes to fall through. We want to be efficient with the students involved and their parents, and then we want to be efficient so that the rest of the students don't talk about it and start spreading it and maybe get a copycat or some sympathy for the parties involved. We want to be diligent and swift on our punishment of the crime, so that the expectation is that this behavior will not be tolerated at Roosevelt High School. Like I said, we don't want any repeat offenses, and we definitely don't want these students, if they're going to make these decisions to be at our school, to ruin the educational process being taken place at our school. What is the best outcome for the faculty, especially Ms. Walker? Well, there's an expectation that the school and that the administration is in support of the teachers, and that their safety sits at the same level as the students. If your faculty doesn't feel safe, they're not going to put their best effort into teaching, and then you basically got a crumbling government as we see fit, and we don't want that. We don't want the house of cards to fall because there's no safety involved. Thoughts on the case? Wow, it was an amazing case. Scary to think that it's probably a more real case than we can think of. Not very exaggerated on this one. We felt that the teacher support must feel supported through the situation. I felt that the students have to know the line that they cannot be passed without their behavior at the school, and that this incident could become a more normal occurrence in the future with the way technology is heading. Felt that the principal feels that if the principal feels that Ms. Walker is an asset to the school, he must continue to support her as she makes her transition back to the classroom, and that we learned how to handle 21st century issues. that may get worse as technology continues to grow. This will allow us to be better prepared the next time it happens. Standard 5A, being efficient with the potential students that created the distraction. This will show that all students are to be accountable for their actions. By getting the classroom up and running as soon as possible, we ensure student success for the rest of the term. 5B, Standard 5B, by creating a plan to deal with the situation, we'll model ethical behavior and what happens when a person makes a bad ethical choice. We also hope that the other students become self-aware of the dangers of 21st century technology that they are witness to. And finally, 5D, by getting the legal system involved, the administration can show the community what legal ramifications can take place when bad decisions are made. So overall, I worry that this case could be something that's going to happen in the near future. I'm sure it probably already has happened in several states, and hopefully as a future administrator I don't have to face this, but I do know this assignment might help me down the line as I get closer into dealing with these on a day-to-day basis as an administrator. Thank you very much.